Welcome back to Liberty Bytes on the Think Liberty Network. I'm your host, William Gaston. You can follow me personally on Twitter at William_Gaston and follow Think Liberty on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever your favorite social media outlet is. Give us a follow and a like for updates on new episodes and more. So today I want to discuss this idea of a new aristocracy. Now, back in the day, there used to be an elite class of politicians, primarily made up of the generationally wealthy and, of course, royalty. And an individual couldn't break into this class except by exception from a member of the aristocracy itself, or somehow making a ton of money and re-emerging as part of it, such as in the Count of Monte Cristo, which, by the way, is a totally underrated movie. But the inception of the United States changed all of that. Many of our earliest leaders weren't members of the British aristocracy, and in fact eschewed the system that put them into place. They didn't want the people to be ruled by an elite class. The whole point of the system that they built was to give power to the individual, to the people. Now, this started a new tradition of the everyman being able to run for and win political races for office. The tradition of men from humble beginnings gaining high positions of leadership and public service throughout the land by way of their own blood, sweat, and tears. Men like George Washington, a farmer by trade, that volunteered to serve in the French and Indian War, and was again called to leave his quiet farm to fight on behalf of the U.S. while it was still in its infancy. Now, this tradition continued to blossom through men like Andrew Jackson, William Henry Harrison, and Abraham Lincoln. Self-taught, hard-working men that rose up to notoriety through their own work ethic and values. William Henry Harrison is a perfect example of humility despite gaining high position. During his campaign, he traveled around the country stumping for votes. He had what amounted to a carnival travel with him, including a wagon train that carried the parts to a log cabin that he would have assembled in the town square of each place that he traveled to, so that the people of the town could come and sit and visit with him in person and have their questions or concerns addressed. Now, imagine a current politician doing something as personal as that today. But it is more than just it's more than just not having the ability to reach out and discuss issues with a candidate themselves and on a personal level. We have almost totally lost the tradition of having the average American be able to run for high political office. We have invented for ourselves a new aristocracy. We have legacy politicians like the Kennedys, the Bushes, or the Clintons. We pick politicians based on who their parents or their uncle is, or what Ivy League school they bought into. We get stars in our eyes over the most shallow metrics of success that we can find in a candidate, and then fight for them tooth and nail, despite them being so out of touch with the everyday American. So now that we know what the issue is, how do we go about addressing it? We address it by demanding more of our candidates. After all, they work for you. You are their patrons. Demand that they address your concerns. Demand that they are genuine with you, that you feel comfortable with them. Stop settling for the lesser of two evils. But perhaps most importantly, support your grassroots candidates, the ones that aren't backed by money or a thin veneer of success. Maybe even run for yourself. Be the candidate that you would vote for, that you would want to see in office. Now, regardless of what route you take to affect these changes, to get us to our roots of empowering the individual in political office, remember that it always starts with you. You have to become active. You have to put in the work. If not you, then who? I hope you'll join us next time to continue to become more liberty-centered with us. I'm William Gaston with Think Liberty.